Test mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oke, hello guys, welcome back with me Fedelish, your online friend. So ya, hari ini kita bakal lanjutin ke rute yang terakhir kemarin ya, game kemarin saya No Uta. Dan kemarin kita dapat leak katanya bakal yabe gamenya, bakal sas. Jadi mungkin nanti bakal banyak sensor flamingo. Kita lihat aja ya nanti. Pagi bang, pagi Faun, welcome to the stream. Pagi bang, pagi Reed, welcome to the stream. Tas, yoi. Kita load di sini. Load. Yep. Kita langsung Fuminori ya. Kemarin kan kita call Ryoko. Kita langsung mulai aja. It's time to finish this. Akhiri nih ya. This as he promised earlier, Koji called Fuminori again. The call goes through immediately. Fuminori must be waiting for it. Hey Koji, where are you? What difference does it make? As soon as Koji responds, a shrill ringing fills the house. Startled, Koji spin around and look into the hallway. The house phone is flashing to signal an incoming call. I see. I figure you'll be at my house. Oke, ketahuan ya. Triknya boleh sih, triknya boleh. Jadi dia telepon si Koji-nya, si Fuminori, terus pakai handphone lain buat telepon rumahnya. Kalau kedengeran kan dia tahu, oh posisinya lagi di rumah dia gitu. Koji fell for it. Fuminori is the one calling the house, and now he knows exactly where Koji is. He must have predicted that this would be Koji's first stop, and that Koji will call him upon finding it empty. So I guess you've already seen everything. Ya, katanya. Koji keeps his voice bold to conceal his horror. When did Fuminori become so cunning? It looks like you've become quiet, the meat eater, since we last met. Just how many people have you killed? Actually, katanya, I've only killed one so far. Oke, dia baru bunuh satu ada. Fuminori replies unapologetically, his tone upbeat. I've taken apart 3 or 4 though. I'm getting pretty good at removing the tendons, anjay, and draining the blood and such. Koji no longer feels sadness or horror when faced with Fuminori's inhumanity. Oh, si Koji udah mulai kebal ya. There is only the cold desire to kill the creature speaking such revolting words with his friend's voice. You killed Omi, didn't you? You bastard. You were lying when you said you hadn't seen her. I wonder. Fuminori mutters, seeing somehow embarrassed. I guess the first one I ate might have been Omi. It was the same day she disappeared. Come to think of it. The body wasn't in any shape that I could identify. Koji had already abandoned hope, but it's still a shock to hear his lover's brutal end. Tsukuba too? No. Fuminori says with an exasperated chuckle. She's here, like I promised. I'm no fool. I need her to trade with you, right? I won't waste her. Let me hear her voice. I don't think that's possible. She's in no shape to talk. Fuminori's dismissive word further sharpened Koji's bloodlust. Langsung naik pitam ya dia. You forgot what I said. If you don't let her go unharmed. Come on, be happy that she's still alive. Or would you rather have you as a corpse? Let's get this straight, Koji. You bring your evidence along with all the files you've gathered. When I'm satisfied that they are the real thing, I'll hand you over. Fine. It's obvious that this deal is a sham. In all like likelihood, Fuminori planning to kill him and bury his secret forever. Moreover, Koji doubts that Yo is even alive. Her meat could very well be somewhere in the refrigerator right in front of him. Bener sih. However, Koji isn't particularly interested in Fuminori's true intention. After all, he has no intention of making a trade either. Okay. His only goal is to get close enough to destroy Fuminori and whatever is pulling his string. Dia udah nggak peduli sama Yo ya sebenarnya. Dia lebih peduli pengen ngehentiin semua penyebabnya aja. Where? You remember Dr. Ogai's house? The one you follow me, so let's meet there tonight at 7. Come alone. Oi. Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response. Oh, kali ini gantian ya? Gantian. Kalau yang di ending kemarin kan si Koji yang matiin. Fuminori-nya belum kelar ngomong. Perhaps Fuminori too has sensed his opponent's intent. If so, then he has realized that Koji is not just the hunt, but the hunter as well. Okay. So, we are like duelists maneuvering for advantage. Koji smiles grimly as he pockets his phone. It's astounding how much their relationship has changed, anjay. Dulu sahabat ya kan, sekarang jadi bangsat. The question is whether or not to comply with the 7 o'clock Radisfo's agreement. If this were a serious negotiation, and it would be wise to avoid preempting Fuminori in any way. In any way that could provoke his anger. What Koji and Fuminori are really doing, however, is trying to lure each other into a deadly trap. Benar sih. Ini benar-benar duel nih. Tapi si Fuminori ada saya cuy, curang 2v1 jadinya. Koji doesn't know what Fuminori plans to do between now and then, but he's not about to let his enemy keep the initiative. The fierce bloodlust that has taken root in his heart is more than enough to energize his exhausted body. Koji left the death-filled house. He strived more determined than before. Okay. Langsung time skip kah? Today was the first time I've driven since my accident last summer. The proposition was always too dangerous to consider, given my inability to recognize roads and car. Oh, ini pakai scene yang sama. Kalau kemarin scene-nya ini dia ke ini ya, nyari tempat ngumpet. Things have changed. However, in the 3 months, I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrian looks like now. Oh, ini udah nggak usah kubaca ya, masih sama ini kayaknya sama yang kemarin. Oh kan, saya and Yo in backseat. An abandoned building she had discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. Oh ya, ini masih sama. I like this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction material and garbage litter. Okay. I'm back. Ini masih sama. Welcome back. Were you okay? Ini sama. Skip. Skip. Masih sama. Skip. Nah, masih sama kan? Skip. How sharp is it? Want to test in on you? Skip. Masih sama. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, skip. Ini masih sama.
どんなに憎い人間だろうと。
本当に
Oke,
体格じゃあい
skip.
つが上だし、でも
Skip.
僕
なんだか不安なんだよね。そういう心理戦っていうの
Yep,
確実
Mashi-sama.
じゃないっていう
She
か。
raises her hat and looks straight
Ne.
at me.
やっぱり私が買った方
Ano
がよくない？
Mashi-sama?
さやの腕力だとさ、
Mashi-sama.
ようみたいな女の子なら楽にねじ伏せられるだろうけど。
でもね、あのおじ病院だってそうだ。
まあそれも一
Oke,
理あるかもな。
Mashi-sama. Skip, 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 skip. Skip. In other words, such a tactic.
じゃあさ
Okay.
さや、
How about
こういう
this?
のはどうだ
Oke,
ろう。
nih kayaknya beda nih. When I tell Saya the new plan that just popped into my head, her gloomy frown, a bright smile.
それね。
Oh, ini sama deh,
何も
masih
そこまで。
sama.
で、
今朝あれから電話があ
I
って
got a
さ、
call from his.
とりあえず関係ない場所に誘い出してある。
やっぱり暗くなってからがいいよね。
ああ、頃合いを見
I'll
計ら
lure
って
him here.
こ
Hah?
こに誘い出して仕留
Kok
めよ
jadi di sini?
う。ここなら誰
Bukan.
にも聞
Ini
い
kan bukan rumah yang
せっかく人
diuntit.
間一人分の肉が仕
Too
入れら
bad
れる
it's just
のに
going to rot
ここだ
without a
と
他の動
refrigerator.
物を誘う餌にできない。
それ危ないよ。万が一鳥の
Oke.
それもそう。
ま
Ini
あ
masih sama
Kalau
conversationnya.
Sama
Jadi kita skip skip skip
Tahu.
dulu.
任せて。
そうか。じゃあ
へへ今度はどの
Skip
ぐら
skip
い
skip
のんびりで
skip.
どのぐらいかな。
Ini masih sama. Some dumb kids might decide, oh ini masih
長い旅だ
sama.
と思えばいいさ。どうせ人生なんて旅みたいなものなんだ。
Nothing stayed the same
時の流れを
forever.
見送
The
るか
only difference is
自分
whether
自身が
time
流れて
passes
い
you.
くか。
Oh ini masih sama.
そうだよね。
Ini masih sama.
それでも一人ぼっち
But we'll be
じゃないし
together, so I'm not lonely. You're not lonely either, are you?
あ
No, I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I will gladly pay any price.
それにね、
And beside, she adds brightly, trying to
い
cheer
つ
me
か
up.
は私たちが人目を忍んで暮らさなくて
One
もよくな
day,
る日
we
が
won't have to hide anymore. I can promise
そ
you
れ
that.
は約束してあげるから。
It sounds like a fairy tale, but for some reason, she seems absolutely certain.
それは明日かもしれないし、
That day might be tomorrow, or it might be far off in the
い
future.
つ印が来るのか私にもわからないの。
It's my first time, so I even don't know. So even I don't know when the sign will come.
ほんのちょっ
I'm a
ぴり
little scared.
怖いんだけど、
I
ね。
have no idea what Saya's prophetic word mean. But this isn't the first time that she has said or done something mysterious. She has performed any number of miracles already.
僕らにも
So there is hope for us too.
うん、
Yeah. She says with a cheerful nod,
きっとそれが
it will be my
さや
last
が
present
お
to
祈りに送っ
you.
てあげられる
My
最後の
first and
プレゼン
final
ト。
duty.
さやの最初で最後の務め。
Koji has nothing to do but wait. He has spent almost half a day in the dark, empty study, breathing stale air chalk with mold as he strained his ear for the slightest hint of movement below. Few people could endure such a vigil, but Koji has accomplished it without complaint. If anything, the suffering is welcome, for it keeps his nerve honed to a razor's edge. Without doubt, his single-minded focus is the only thing allowing him to push the limits of his stamina. Koji understands this and embraces the pain. Bang, kenapa Takoya? Welcome to the stream. His closest friend has shattered his world like glass, and now Koji feels any hate towards the madness that has replaced it, and towards himself for allowing it to happen. Self-loathing is a more reliable source of willpower than any fate or resolve, no matter how noble. Jangan lupa load, maksudnya. When he arrived at the Ogai house, Koji snuck inside carefully, hoping to perhaps take his enemy by surprise. It was only after he got inside that he realized the house was still abandoned. Even so, Koji was sure that Fuminori will arrive earlier than promised in order to set up an ambush. However, the light streaming through the window turned red, then faded to darkness with no sign of anyone coming. Koji's patience has grown weaker and weaker by the moment. And now, the appointed time has arrived. Just as Koji's frustration is about to peak, his phone begins to vibrate and flash. It's from Fuminori. He's calling rather than show up himself. Rage threatened to overwhelm him for an instant, but Koji managed to keep his voice calm as he answered.
どういうつもりだ、文乃。
What's going on, Fuminori?
いやね、まさか待ち伏せなんていう無駄なことをして神経すり減らしてない。
Well, I was worried that you might be wasting energy on something silly, like planning an ambush, Fuminori says, chuckling scornfully.
遅くなったが、そろそろ本当の待ち合わせ場所を教えておかなくちゃと思ってさ。
It's kind of late, but I guess I should tell you the real meeting place before you lose your mind. Did I make it in
ふ
time?
ざけた真似を。
Son of a bitch.
まあ怒るなよ。
Come on, don't get mad. I'm just being careful, right? Fuminori laughed with unrestrained malevolence, as though to emphasize that he's seen through Koji's plan.
お前が大貝教授の家まで来てるんなら、そこから。
Assuming you're at Dr. Ogai's house, there's a place nearby within
僕と要はそこに。
walking distance. You and I are there.
まあ
Oh, nggak jauh dari rumahnya si Ogai ini. You should be able to find it on your car's GPS.
今度こそ信用できるって
You
いう
have
保証は。
proof this is not another trick.
疑わしければ来なくていい。尻尾を巻いて逃げるがいいさ。
If you aren't that paranoid, you don't have to come. Just turn tail and run. Anjay, diancam ya? Fuminori hangs up immediately after speaking his challenge. Koji leaps out of his what the hell? Chair and kicks it across the room, unable to find any other outlet for his rage. He has no choice but to do what Fuminori says. His stamina is already exhausted. Only his obsession is keeping him going. If he allow himself even a moment's rest, he fears that he'll never again find the strength to face this madness. Tonight is his only chance to kill Fuminori. Koji knows, of course, that his enemy is planning to ambush him. Fuminori isn't going to fight fair, but then neither is Koji. Anjay, dia ada plan apa nih? Benar-benar. With the unsteady stride of a man half asleep, Koji left the Ogai house and head for his car. Only the base of these foothills has developed for housing. The address Fuminori gave Koji is the outside of that area, in the thick forest that still cover the mountain's face. His car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old, abandoned sanatorium there. It's definitely a place that no one could find, not even by accident. Maybe this next stop really will be the last. Could you drive up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind? Even though the hand of progress are right at its doorstep, the undeveloped forest is darker than he expected. Yo, Kermie! Hi, Kermie! Welcome to the stream. The commercial break is over. Keep watching those streamer that you want. You silly Kermie. This looks like a great place to live in secret or to kill someone and hide the body. Places like this, lost and forgotten, are found only in deep jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. A broken down gate post suddenly appears in Koji's headlights, like a ghost rising from the darkness. It looks like this is the final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns off the engine, giving himself to the silence of the forest. His phone starts ringing almost immediately. He doesn't need to check who it's from.
着いたぞ。
I'm here.
聞こえてた
Yeah, I heard you. Welcome to my new home. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up Koji's spine.
中に入ってこいよ
Come inside. Yo is waiting. Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door and gets out of the car. Mountain of trash litter on the front yard. Litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerator and mopeds to huge chunk of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction worker. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind show just how remote this place is. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without tripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountain of trash. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage, because the whole yard is filled with the sharp sting of chemical. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, there are plenty shelter are more suitable. How many times now has he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place, far removed from his everyday life, sneaking into deadly quiet house to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The house that he explored before were like freshly shed cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but with traces of the life they had sheltered. This place, however, is different. A perfect ruin, its wall and pillars rising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the element have stripped it of its former shape, and now there's only death. Koji has gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji. But how? Just as he's about to turn his flashlight, Koji reconsider. If he wanders around the lights on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who is probably lying in wait for him right now. He holds the light before him in his left hand with his finger poised on the switch. In his right hand, he raised the revolver, keeping it pointed in the same direction. Now, ready to fire when he turns on the light. Koji steps quietly into the dark ruin. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even they do, he has only moonlight streaming through empty windows to guide him. Everything appears gray and indistinct. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same condition if he is hiding here. This is a battle of nerve, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. The room on both sides of the hallway are all open. Some are even missing their door. Koji creep up to each entrance, check to make sure no one is inside, then carefully proceed. Jadi ini udah makin seru nih. Ini lagi tegang situasi. Mereka itu kayak lagi Kayak cowboy lagi 1v1 guys. Jadi ini mereka sama-sama nggak tahu musuhnya lagi di ruangan mana. Jadi kalau yang ngasih suara itu ya udah kayak hitungannya lebih lebih dirugikan lah. Yang nggak bunyi sama sekali itu lebih diunggulkan. Karena tahu posisi musuh kan. The thing that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. Squish. Wah, bunyi dah. Koji freezes and stares down the hall. It was a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp. Ini sama ya kayak yang kemarin ya? Koji creeps to the wall, blah blah, coba ya. He slides, squish, squish. Now it sounds like someone squishing mud through their finger, and as he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for the chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he proceeds, the strange sound coming through the cracks in the concrete wall grows clearer. Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, vicious darkness, just like every other room that he has passed. Even. There is more than just darkness, however. Something is there. He can hear pain breathing like that of a wounded animal, and what sounds like sobbing. Sobbing.
誰だ
Who's there? Koji whisper into the darkness. Siapa tuh di situ ya? Now that he's given away his position, dia udah ngomong kan, dia dikasih tahu posisinya. He might as well turn on his light for some reason. However, Koji feels that to do so would have this disastrous consequences. The last time I heard her voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The whizzing suddenly stopped. And then, Koji, a whisper comes out of the darkness, though not a human voice, not by any measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dot in Koji's mind.
つくば
Tsukuba? It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. He doesn't smell like this. Please, Koji, kill me. But if it's not Yo, then how does it know his name? Why is it begging him for help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that slithers and hides in the shadow. It hurts. This body always hurts. Save me, Koji. The things wriggles closer. His reaction cries out, imploring him to switch the light on before it's too late, or to turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only calls out in vain to the amorphous shape in the darkness.
つくばなのか
Is it you, Tsukuba?
直江
Is it really you? Let me die. No. More. Please kill me. Something softly and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn on his light and shine it at his feet. Oh iya ini udah ya? The white beam bla 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 bla. Iya langsung nembak dar. Ya. It hurts. Iya ini masih sama ya? Tar. The light and darkness, explosion and silence, they dance before him 3 times. Ya benar. Okay. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sending him down hard on his backside. Even then, ini kalau nanti kecepetan ya, kelarin rutenya paling aku ini sih, live stream main puzzle kayak kemarin. The light which fell from his hand during the attack is now pointing in a different direction, and though all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play, which left him alone in the darkness. with no way to defend himself. And just as he realized this, a mass of rotting flesh roll. Oh ya benar ini sama, masih sama. Okay. With fear seizing his throat in an iron grip, Koji struggled desperately against the monster as it crawls up his body toward his face, covering his face with his left hand. Blah 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 blah, masih sama. And that is why when his right hand closes around something hard, blah blah blah. Oh ini dapat ininya, dapat pipa, dapat pipe. Tar di gebok terusan. Kan masih sama ini. Die. Koji doesn't stop thrashing the creature until he recovers enough of his sense to realize that whatever it might have been before, it is now nothing but a corpse. Nah, ini masih sama. Blah 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 blah. Okay, before this could never have imagined he would ever. Okay, benar sama. Ini masih sama nih. Damn, Koji, I thought you would hesitate. You thought I will hesitate against you. How did you kill Omi, you piece of shit? What did you do to Tsukuba? After all this, you expect me to think twice about killing you? That's my line. Benar sih, yang sebenarnya bunuh si Omi kan, yang bunuh Yo kan dia. I'll make sure you suffer before I kill you. Oh ini masih sama ya? Yang kemarin pakai backsound epic fight. Nah ini makanya bakal cepet gak sih kelarnya? Kita nggak tahu ya. Fuminori grunts and retreat, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji. Bla bla bla. Ini masih sama. Nggak guna aku baca. Okay. Die. Ah tapi kalau kemarin kan ditolong sama dokter yang ini, yang cewek itu. He feel the crunch of ribs breaking. The pain drive Fuminori to his knees. Staring down at Fuminori's defenseless head, Koji, surprised by his own lack of emotion, raised his pipe high to deliver the finishing blow, which is when something wrapped itself around his left ankle. What? The instant Koji panics at the unexpected sensation. Something soft, yet strong, wind itself around blah blah blah. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at the unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. He was unable to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns to ice at the cold, slimy sensation. The monster is still alive. That's it, Saya. 1 jaman lagi palingan. Oh, kalau 1 jaman lagi nggak tahu deh bakal palsu apa nggak. That's it, Saya. Bla 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 bla. Ini masih sama. This monster is Saya. Okay, but more tentacles. Bla bla bla. Ini masih sama. The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into mindless panic. His scream is suddenly cut off as a slimy appendage seizes his throat. This most deadly tentacle isn't just cutting off his windpipe. Windpipe. Kok windpipe? Windpipe. It's trying to snap his neck. And it's getting tighter. Ah, kali ini gak ada yang nolong ya. My mind hazy from the pain. I watched as Saya feasts upon her slain prey. We've won. We've won. It was hard, and I was unable to do it alone. But together, we have defeated our enemy. The price was steep. At least 2 of my ribs are broken, sending a sharp pain shooting through my chest every time I breathe. And then there's Yo. I didn't expect her to fall to Koji so easily. I suppose that, unlike Saya, she might have been unfamiliar with how to use her new body in combat. My injury must have fueled Saya's anger. Her slaughter of Koji was merciless and complete. As soon as her prey stopped moving, she sank her teeth into his vital organ and ruthlessly extinguished the last ember of life. Though her brutal, grisly actions were unbecoming of her girlish appearance, Saya's face, covered in blood and gore, was that of a victorious queen of beasts lording over her defeated foe. There was something noble and sacred about her primal ferocity that made me reluctant to disturb her. I don't know how long I've been sitting here watching Saya feast. I've nearly fainted from the pain several times. To be honest, I'm not used to violence. The wound I suffered in the car accident were worse, of course, but these broken ribs are the most severe injury that has ever been deliberately inflicted upon me. You will think that Saya could show a little more concern for my condition. Koji is already as dead as can be, so there's no reason for her to be so greedy. I suddenly realized that Saya has stopped eating. Now she's lying on her back, rolling from side to side. Has she eaten too much? It's been several days since we've had fresh unfrozen meat, so I understand where her enthusiasm is coming from. But still, I wondered here she could give me a hand. Because I'm preoccupied with my own selfish one, I'm slow to realize that something is wrong. Saya isn't resting. She's trembling, in agony. Kok bisa? Kok dia kesakitan? My blood goes cold, and the pain from my broken ribs is suddenly forgotten. Saya! I jump up, run to her side, and cradle her fallen body in my arms. Her face is pale and drenched in sweat, and her half-closed eyelids and lips are shivering like she has a fever. What's going on? Was she wounded in the fight? Could the meat she just ate have been poisoned or somehow? I don't understand. All I know is that something terrible is happening. Saya. The only thing I can do is call her name with all of my strength.
Fuminori.
Sorry, Fuminori. I'm fine.
大丈夫。ただ
Really?
ちょっ
It
と
just
痛いだけ。
hurt a little. What's wrong? What is it?
どうしたんだサヤ
Come on,
しっかり
Saya.
しろ
There's no way she's fine. It's glaringly obvious that her condition is dire. Even so, I'm the only one who is panicking. Saya's expression is serene, as though she understands everything that is happening to her. She even smiles softly up at
び
me.
っくりしちゃった。まさか
I can't believe it. I never thought
こんなに
it would come so soon.
時が
I might lose Saya. The thought is unbearable. Unbearable. Terror and despair are quickly overwhelming me. A feeling of utter helplessness that I cannot resist.
怖がらないで。
Don't be afraid.
一体
Remember what I said. This is the sign.
みのりと
This is
私が
our only hope.
どういうことだよわけわかんないよ
What
サヤ
are you talking
し
about?
っかりしてくれよ
I don't understand. Stay with me, Saya. Stay with me. Saya answered my tearful entreaty with a smile like that of a mother comforting her child.
さや
I did it.
頑張るって
I decided to do my best. After all, you said you loved
綺
me.
麗だって
You said that I was pretty.
やめようよさや
Stop this. Whatever is happening, I can't just sit by and watch as it causes Saya such agony.
もういい
Please,
無茶しないで
whatever you're trying to do, I don't want to see you suffer.
ひどいな
Don't be like that. Saya chides me.
分かってよ
Please understand. In a soft voice, she revealed her
く
secret.
れるんだよ
They're going to born. Huh? They're going to be born. Our children?
子供たち
Nani?
が
Nani? For a moment, my mind goes completely blank.
そんな
What?
いつの間に
But when did you?
私もねびっくり
I'm surprised too, Fuminori.
ねえふみのり
Saya has labored, breathing speak to the terrible pain her tiny body is suffering. Even so, she wraps her arm tightly around my neck.
外に連れてって
Take me outside to an open place under the
空
sky.
の
I nod. What else I can do? If I speak, I'm afraid that I'll be unable to hold back my tears. I mustn't cry. Not when Saya is facing her torment so bravely. It feels like Saya is burning up in my arms, and I fear that the terrible convulsion that shoot through her at interval will tear her frail body to pieces. Praying for her safety, I scoop Saya up and carry her swiftly out of the ruined building. Maybe the cold night air will soothe her fever, but that hope is futile. Futile. Cruelly dashed as her breathing grows shallow, and she moans through blush lips. Saya, we're outside. In response to my call, she opened her eyes once more. Her gaze is cloudy and unfocused. She can no longer see. Nevertheless, Saya looks at me. I can tell that she is imagining my expression, where my face should be.
約束した
Just as I promised, this is my final present. I
喜
know.
んで
I hope you'll like it.
嬉しいよ
Of course I will. It takes every ounce of my willpower, but I managed to make my voice light and cheerful. In Saya's mind's eye, I know that I am smiling. She won't have to see my face streaked with tears.
みのり
Fuminori, to you who
私
love
こ
me,
の星を
I give
あげ
this
ます
planet. Saya's whisper is weak and pain, but there's ecstasy in her voice, ecstasy and joy. Her back suddenly shifts and bulks
こ
outward.
の世界は
This world will be beautiful, she whispered in exultation.
さやと
A world
ふみのりの
just for us.
ためだけの
And then Saya bloomed. How else can I describe it? Flower petals. Long and wide. Oh, ini yang di iniku ya? Yang di thumbnail ya? Spread from her back, like the wings of a newly formed butterfly. Their brilliant glow comes from the countless tiny scales that cover each petals, like particle of light.
さよなら
Is this goodbye? I asked her, careful to keep the sorrow out of my
う
voice.
ん
No,
違う
not goodbye.
これは
This is the beginning. Saya's pain must already have left her, for her expression is infinitely peaceful and content.
私と
The beginning
ふ
of
みのりの
our world.
世界
The
の
radiant motes rise on the wind,
始まり
painting river of light in the frozen winter sky. It is beautiful, overwhelmingly, painfully beautiful. Singing victoriously of their freedom, the shining seed of life are released into this vast and fertile land. Their song heralds the coming of the new world and the destruction of the old. It is a boundless healing. It is an eternal blessing. We shall fill the world with our joy.
これからは
Now,
ずっと一緒だね。
we'll be together forever, won't we? Embracing Saya's pitifully shrunken body, I gaze into the shining sky and let my tears flow freely. Thank you. Thank you for this final gift, Saya. She was worried at first how long the preserved food in the underground storeroom would last her, but now it seemed that her fears were unfounded. It's the liquor she should have worried about. By savoring each drop of spiritus as though it were her last, she thought that she could make her flask hold out a little longer. But she must have been consuming more each day than she realized. Who can blame her? There's no way that she could have gotten through this without the intoxicating effect of distilled alcohol. After Ryoko chased useless emotion like hope and despair from her mind, he found herself spending the most peaceful days of her life. As resignation, sadden, even hate and fear left her. Now she feels only awe. Hello, Kairin. Welcome to the stream. For what Ogai Masahiko did, and respect for the depth of his intellectual curiosity, after all, neither she nor this world has any reason left to deny his research. Alone in the mountain cabin, Ryoko killed time by bringing order to the document that Ogai had left behind. She took the scattered and ciphered papers and rewrote them in a more readable fashion, eliminating redundancies, and adding index and table of contents. Ryoko did not intend for anyone to read them, of course. She knew full well how meaningless her actions were, with her reason to live gone. However, having something to devote her mind to was at least some relief. And now, as the last congratulatory drops of spiritus vodka, okay, ini jadi dia udah posisinya dia udah hopeless gitu ya dia. Dia nggak tahu cara ngebeat saya yang barusan keluarin sayap gak jelas itu. Halo Fedel, halo Om Giri, welcome to the stream. Burn their way down Ryoko's throat. All of Ogai's research lies before her in a single volume. She has finally finished transcribing and annotating the last of his writing, enjoying the satisfaction of a pointless job well done. She idly pages through the manuscript that she just completed. I shall conclude by summarizing my theory as it currently stands. The life form that I named Saya did not appear in our universe by chance, nor even as a result of my summoning, but because of the instinct that were programmed directly into her biology. She was created to fulfill the same ultimate purpose that all life share: reproduction. Saya and her kind procreate by spreading their seed to other dimensions. Okay. Game apa ini? Game visual novel yang gore? What is the probability that they will discover a doorway to another world? Even if they succeed in doing so, the chance of that world being suitable for reproduction must be even more minute. In order to make the most of that scant probability, evolution has granted them a certain advantage, none other than the astonishing ability that I have witnessed in Saya. To wit, they select the most prosperous life form that they encounter, take control of it, and in doing so, gain dominance over the planet's biosphere. In other words, they hijack the entire species. They do this by analyzing their target's genome, then overwriting its genetic code to remake it in their own image. Saya's biology is more than capable of inducing such dramatic and widespread mutation. There is a significant probability that the target species will have evolved into intelligent life. This element may be necessary to gaining control of a planet's environment. Therefore, Saya and her sister also plunder their target's culture and psychology. Her extraordinary learning ability and intellectual curiosity are likely instinctive tools that enable her to inherit the target species' entire wealth of knowledge. Her sister, berarti kita bisa ketemu sister-sisternya si Saya. In fact, it may be that Saya's kind has always had its sight set on intelligent life. Perhaps they wait patiently for some foolish, extra-dimensional species to gain knowledge of other world, and, in attempting to satisfy its curiosity, make contact with outer universe in which they dwell. Rather than send Saya and her kin on their dimensional journey with only luck and their own strength to depend on, would not waiting for such contact greatly increase the chance of finding a world worthy of conquest? Oke. Berarti mereka emang udah mantek ya? Maksudnya udah ditungguin gitu. Dan target. Just as I, having acquired the silver key, fancied myself an explorer of the unknown, how many intelligent life forms on other world have thoughtlessly congratulate themselves for discovering Saya's sister. Taken by the sudden urge to go outside for a charge, Ryoko gathers up the manuscript and heads to her car, which is parked in the front yard. Okay, she has completed her self-imposed final duty. There is no longer any reason for her to remain holed up in the mountain cabin. She drives a little farther up the mountain to an open place that offers a scenic view of the land below. In the early days of the change, Ryoko often came to the spot to watch helplessly over the mutating city. Udah mutating city-nya. The one flaw in my theory comes from none other than Saya herself. After using me to learn everything she could about humanity, Saya should finally have been prepared to begin the last stage of her invention. However, he never carried out her mission. Why? I hypothesize that Saya was an irregular among her kind. Oh, jadi saya berbeda nih sama jenis-jenis yang kayak si Saya yang lainnya. It is said that the human race's intelligence has allowed us to conquer our natural instinct. Perhaps in absorbing the human psyche, Saya accidentally inherit the disease that infect our entire species. Oh, they inherit the disease. What? Kok bisa? What is human love, really? What behavior could be more of hindrance to the efficient propagation of a species? I am reminded of how, at the end of her studies, Saya consumed vast quantities of romantic literature from all over the world. Oh, this is yang dimaksud dokternya itu love. Soalnya iya sih kan kalau hewan lain kan ya nggak ada love kan. Udah kawin aja. Benar. Jadi si Saya ini bisa punya emotion love. She tries to understand romance as an integral part of the human reproductive process. As a result, she might have unwittingly nurtured her own unparalleled reproductive abilities. After all, she had not known love. She had come to this world to rule it in our place, and had studied humanity to fulfill that purpose. But ultimately, she could not share love with a human. Without love blessing, Saya was unable to find a patient to fill this world with her kind. In learning all that there was to know about humanity, she herself had become hopelessly human. Weary of loneliness, she despaired of the world. How pure her maiden soul must have been. If this hypothesis is correct, then it means that I have failed as her teacher. I cannot help but feel ashamed for having spoiled such an extraordinary organism. Iya sih, dokternya kan nggak mungkin fall in love with saya kan. Saya, next to Ogai Masahiko, Ryoko now knows more about that entity than anyone else. No, when the young man named Sakisaka Fuminori is added to the running, perhaps she only comes in third. In the end, she never encountered the creature face to face. She would like to have met it once, though. If Ogai's analysis of Saya's psychology is correct, then it must have been Sakisaka who restored her desire to conquer the world. Perhaps, as Sakisaka's chief physician, Ryoko played some role in bringing that lonely young man and Saya together. Ah, si Ryoko ini berarti juga emang sengaja ini anjir mak comblangin sama si Saya si ininya. In which case she should at least have had the right to attend their wedding to end all weddings. she might even have charged them a matchmaker's fee. Ya kan matchmaker anjir, dimak comblangin anjir sama si ini, sama si Ryoko. I have a dream that one day my daughter will know the blessing of love. I pray that there will come a day when her heart burns with the flame of passion, and her world become bright and joyous once more. When the day comes, Saya, your terrible, irresistible purpose will surely consume us, that your progeny may flourish. The whole world will know your love and be reborn. Ah, what wonders the future holds. I deeply regret that I must end my life before I can see that day come. But the footsteps of those who will destroy my dream grow closer by the hour. If I seal my lips in death, then their grasping hand will not reach you. Oh, jadi si dokter Ogainya juga ngedukung sebenarnya spesiesnya saya buat berkembang biak. Nah, dia suicide biar nggak ada orang yang bisa tahu si saya sama sekali. Okay, please forgive me, my daughter, for leaving you alone in this barren world. With the knowledge that you now possess, I know that you will find your own path. The radiance of your hand, one's soul, shall light the road ahead. Have no fear, have no doubt. March onward until you reach your answer at last. And I, Saya, will dream forever of the world that you will create. Perhaps it is the isolated environment or the mountain air. Maybe she has just more resistant to the change. Whatever the case, Ryoko has not yet become as inhuman as the creature wriggling through the city below. He doesn't know exactly how many people on this planet could still be called human. But she is one of what must be only a handful of survivors who are left to watch over the end of mankind. Of course, it is only a matter of time before she changes too. It has been 3 days since she chopped off her right hand. Hah? Dia motong tangan kanannya sendiri, oke. Which had ceased to function as anything resembling a human hand. But the itching that has spread across her entire back is growing more intolerable by the hour. She could look in a mirror to see what she is becoming, but she doubted that it would make her happy. Ryoko thinks that maybe it will be best to just go to sleep here, with the world spread out before her. When she awakens, perhaps she will be ready to descend the mountain and join in the city's revelries. Or maybe she won't even need such resolve anymore. Whatever the case, Ryoko thinks dreamily as she licks the very last drop from her flask. Even after I stop being human, I hope I'll still enjoy the taste of booze. Anjay. Mabok dulu yang mending ya. Hah? Habis kah? Habis, Cok. Sejam apa aja tako ya? Terus kalau kata si siapa? Kalau kata si Kasur ada sasinya. Udah sejam Bang live-nya, tapi kan kau ngomong sejamnya lagi itu kan dari ini. Dari di tengah. Yang pas lagi fight scene. Dari yang lagi fight scene kan cuman 20 menit, Cok, atau 30 menit. Wah, beneran main puzzle, Cok. Ayo, yang mau main puzzle, ayo, sabar ya. Berarti endingnya 3. Yang pertama itu si tokoh utama kembali normal, dan si sayanya itu menjelajah, dan yang dimana nggak bakal berkembang biak. Kenapa? Karena si saya itu kan anomali, dia beda dari spesiesnya kan. Berarti nggak bakal ngehancurin dunia, which is termasuk good ending, normal ending. Kalau yang ini, ending ini tuh si saya berhasil menguasai dunia, tapi ya dengan menghilangkan nyawanya kan. Tapi dia buat semua manusia jadi monster kayak dia, jadi kayak slime kayak dia. Terus yang ketiga itu semua berakhir, tapi teman-temannya mati, dokter Ogai mati, dokter yang cewek mati, tokoh utama mati, saya mati, teman-teman yang 2 ceweknya mati termasuk pacarnya. Terus juga si cowok itu mau suicide kayaknya tuh, dia udah siapin 1 peluru. Kalau buat story sih aku rating 8,5 sih, udah bagus ini. Cuman masih nggak sebagus You and Me and Her menurutku ya. You and Me and Her masih the best. Sama-sama dari Nitro Plus sih ininya, gamenya. Terus kalau worth to buy, worth it sih, beli pas sale. Tapi aku lihat di komen katanya kalau beli di Steam banyak cut-nya ya. Ya, tapi aku kan nggak peduli begituannya, yang penting story-nya ya. Nggak peduli sama ininya, scene 18 plus ya, nudity-nya. I don't give a fuck. Karena niatan main game ini cari cerita gore-nya, thriller-nya. So ya, kayaknya bakal Queen stream terus kita restream, main puzzle mungkin. Kita bakal sebut nama. Ada Takoya, ada Om Gary, ada Kayurin, ada Rit, ada Kermi, ada Faun. Stream kali ini cepet sih. Tapi nanti kita lanjut lagi ke puzzle ya. Paling kita main 1000 puzzle langsung gas. 1000 atau 500 ya? 500 kali ya? 1000 tahunnya kelamaan nanti. Kayaknya 500 cukup deh. Max lah. Lama nanti. Kita restream dulu. Bye bye. See you di stream puzzle.